All right. So we're actually doing this. We're actually doing a video, and I cannot believe it because I've always said I would not do a video on Facebook or anything like that. But me and Melissa were talking in there just a few minutes ago in our den, and we just want to share with whoever wants to listen kind of some real life stuff that goes on with us because we think this stuff is really important and just want to share it with you. So basically, I guess if we want to call this particular video, if you want to entitle it something, it would be listening. And you want to say something about Joni today, about listening?
Well, we'll get into it a little bit more, but this morning, Neil and I had a very good conversation with each other. And then we visited at Hood Memorial Church, and Joni Williams was speaking today. And she spoke on listening, and that being the first part of loving someone is actually, just listening to them and not trying to fix them or have an answer or, anything like that, but just being an ear for someone. And it went along, me and Neil just laughed because it went along perfectly with the conversation we had at breakfast this morning. And then who knew we would come home and have another encounter this afternoon for me. So anyway,
Just a couple of those cool God moments. This morning I woke up early like I usually do, and just feeling a bit anxious, and got my Bible out, and I was reading through some stuff and trying to plan ahead on some things, and I just got really worked up and stressed. And Melissa got up, I don't know, an hour or so into my frantic actions of trying to plan out my week and how I was going to approach how I was going to approach some clients that I'll be seeing this week. Anyway, I was stressed out, and anxiety was really showing up, and she sits down with me, and I guess you just kind of prodded me along with some questions, just asking what was going on. And
well, I could just see you beating yourself up.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I just beat myself up, and that goes back to what I shared with her this morning. Just goes back to an old lie that I struggle with, a deep core lie that I tend to wrestle with a lot, and just that I'm just not enough, and that I've got to plan everything out. That I can't face a situation where I don't have a plan because I'm scared. I'm scared of failure, scared of looking stupid, scared of hurting people if I don't know exactly what to say or do. And anyway, I could go on and on and on about that, but the main thing that was important that happened this morning was the fact that she took the time, because I think she was wanting to run or exercise or something this morning, but she chose to take the time to listen to me. And, and we strongly believe in God working in those moments where we're just really open and honest with somebody. If we trust somebody with us, like in my case, with my fears of failure, of just looking stupid, even my anger and frustration with God, to be honest about that, and not believing that He's trustworthy sometimes. I don't believe that He's going to show up. Just to get all that out on the table, and for her not to run away, for her to stick with me through it, and just listen to me, and of course, give me some feedback. And then for me to trust that feedback, to trust that her perspective may be better than mine, because, like she said, I was beating myself up. I'm sitting there wrestling with things that are really not true. They don't line up with what God says about me, so they're not true. But for her to give me some feedback, and for me to trust that, and that's a big step for me or anybody that's in that situation where they're struggling. And I think that is something we've learned from our friends at the True Face Ministry. That's almost the very definition of humility. trusting another person with you. And in that and through that, you get to experience God and His grace, because her being willing to love me in that state of mind that I get in, and I'm not rational when I get like that. I'm determined to be right, and if she's wrong about what she's saying. um, um, but like I said, it's not just experiencing the love she has for me and the listening ear that she has and that she's offering, but that God is doing that through her, and that He's loving me, and that He's reminding me of how He sees me, and it's just an overpowering thing, and it's something that it's really a miracle, honestly, just an everyday miracle that we can encounter when uh, we get to a place. And I have to get really broken before I'll get there. Now I'm not going to act like I do this all the time, but this morning was a really special time, and then.
Well, I think you were able to see the road you were headed down. You were headed down determination that you were going to fail.
Yeah. I was planning for failure.
You were planning for failure, and you weren't actually even experiencing who you are in the moment right now. And I think just listening, you were able to bring yourself back to the actual present moment and experiencing now, instead of trying to go ahead and experience what you were anticipating in a few weeks.
I agree. That's exactly what was going on. And of course, that's a God thing. I mean, it's not something that I was able to muster up the willpower to do. All I really did was just surrender, which is a really strong, important word, to give up my perspective, my beliefs about that situation, and be willing to let someone who cares about me, somebody that I can trust, speak from their perspective, from what they see, because she saw something completely different in me in those moments this morning than what I was able to see. And I can promise you, I know this without a doubt, that if I'd have continued down that road this morning, it wouldn't have gotten better. It would have gotten worse. But that was my experience today. And then we go to visit with our friends over at Hood Memorial Church, and Joni spoke today, and just I was like, man, seriously, God, you're really going to drive this point home, aren't you? And which is a wonderful thing. It's so good to see Him validate stuff like that, because her whole thing was about listening and experiencing love and grace through that, and that's exactly what I had experienced. And then we.
So then, not even 8 hours later, from the conversation we had this morning, we come home and eat lunch, and my whole mood has changed. Everything is getting on my nerves. The television, Neil talking, Neil asking me questions, everything was getting on my nerves. And he noticed that, and he was asking me, hey, what's going on? And that got on my nerves. And I really had no idea. I finally told him, I have no idea. I'm extremely ill. I need some time by myself. And I'll see if I can figure it out. I have no idea. So he got ready to leave. He was just going to leave for a little while and let me just kind of be by myself. And before he could leave, we started talking. And just him listening, and I started talking and him listening, I was able to realize what was going on. I had some things on my mind as far as thinking about yoga classes this week, and how to grow the yoga class, but still be me at the same time. And that's what it was. Because what was on my to-do list for this afternoon was to really work on that. And everything I could think of to do that was going to be me not being me. And so therefore I kept putting it off, and then I was just getting ill, and then I was thinking about how it was just a flop. And anyway, just talking to Neil I was able to experience freedom in getting that out, and freedom in realizing that I can still be me in this, and it just may look different than how another person might do it, and that's okay. And there was just big freedom that came from actually, for one thing, talking about it and realizing what it was that was going on inside of me. And then the freedom that came from him listening and the love and support that I got from him listening. So we've really
and not really having answers. I mean, it's not like I could fix you.
no, and I still don't have an answer.
Right.
Other than I'm going to be me.
Right. And you kept saying towards the end of our conversation, freedom. This is just so freeing.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is real life for us. This is
and we're going to try to do this.
This is
more the videos
every day.
Yeah.
For us.
Sometimes it doesn't go quite this nice.
I know. And I'm probably being very, very nice in saying how ill I was when I got home from church. I was very ugly, very, very ill. But he was very gracious to
well,
me.
I just know how you need your alone time. And I was pressing for that. I was like, you really need some alone time. But anyway, so thank you for listening. And again, I was saying this earlier. We plan to try to do this more so, and we do the blogging, but we kind of want to just share with you face to face. Since we can't do it in person, we'll do it this way, right?
Yeah.